All right. We are now live.
How you doing?
Interesting. The music stopped playing.
The music's not playing. Was it like the day the music died?
That's funny, but no.
Yeah, well, that wasn't funny. That's dark, dude.
Okay, yeah, but you don't have to bring it up right now because music didn't die in this one.
Well, I feel like American Pie now. Congratulations.
I like how I tried to rhyme. You just rhymed die with pie, so probably should talk about tie.
Let's go up in the sky.
Well, if I
And where we
did,
can fly.
but I need a tie.
Then hopefully we don't die.
Well, yeah. Hopefully we don't
But at
die.
least I get pie.
We get pie on fish.
Bars.
Please stop saying that. Okay, also, we also want to introduce two characters in the stream, by the way. We have
Let's move
Thick
it.
Boy. We have to get a name for this guy because this movie's not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly add the music.
The music. Because it's not. Because OBS makes sense.
And
Nothing
it's gonna be
makes
really, really loud right now, people. So bear with us.
Yeah, have fucking your eardrums blown out.
Eardrum warning. What did it say? Is it
High volume warning?
yeah, volume warning here.
Yeah.
All right, it's coming up in 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that.
So professional. Yo, if we were smart, we would stop the stream now.
Oh, pause
and
the
then
stream.
just restart it real quick.
But no, wait, it started.
We're doing it live!
We're doing it live. And also,
One of our accents was better than the other. You can tell us which one in the comments.
look at this face. You want this
I
face.
got a cow.
And also, the second character is Sockman. It's on microphone. Is that a good name for him, Sockman?
Is he a soccer mom?
More like a soccer dad. And we're its kids.
We don't know his,
Gender?
Yeah. Can't tell that.
But his name is Bumblebee. So it's like, I guess he's fluid and genderless. Anyway,
I don't know.
that died quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Good work, Musa.
so this is our face reveal. I am
Sanj.
Count Sanj.
I just doxed you again. Yeah, I'm Jake.
You're Fun Count.
Oh, what am I?
You're Jake the Fun Count, I guess. Not everyone knows your name.
What am I?
Don't be so close to the camera, you doof.
Don't tell me to do. Mom?
Go to your room. Except,
No. We're in the
closet.
closet already. It's weird.
all right.
Natural, somewhat evil.
That's true. Cool. So, what are we gonna talk about this week?
We are going to talk about the utility and importance of reviews.
Yes, actually, I've been pushing for this for a long time. Actually,
He's been obnoxious about it.
I have been because coming soon. By the way, this guy writes amazing anime reviews. I used it myself.
Yeah, totally amazing
No.
anime reviews.
Okay, just for future, I'm looking at you viewers for future videos. Just know that he is so self-deprecating that just believe my perspective on his stuff. Okay,
You've been watching
not
too
his.
much anime. I gotta believe in myself.
Okay, stop. You actually,
I need like a black choir behind me now. Just
like do up. Oh god, I have to go cry in the corner.
I wish to God the neighbors could hear us.
They can hear
And-
us.
Oh, they're just like,
What the heck is going on in that closet?
there are two men in a closet right now.
And you're literally screaming obscenities at each other.
I'm going doo-wop. They're actually very musical.
Yeah. But yeah, so he writes reviews, and sometimes he said, oh, most times he send them to me. I
Yes.
think it's written one that I've not seen.
I think I've sent them all to you.
And I was wondering, well, I started to ask myself the question, like, why? I guess let me ask you, why are reviews important?
First and foremost, their main utility is as a recommendation. I think.
Okay, I guess that's what I want to dig in for a bit.
Yeah.
So, as a recommendation to whom?
So I think a human instinct is to be like, I like this thing. You should like this too. Because I think I like this thing for a good reason, therefore you should like the thing.
Adam Smith.
Yes. So, very basic function of a review is like the biggest reviewer on the planet is basically someone saying, I like thing. You like thing too. And that really, like, de-romanticizes it, I suppose. But it's like, it's just the basic utility of it. And I think reviews serve as a way for people to honestly just analyze a film or a product or something and it'd be like, this is why I like it or this is why I hate it.
So the reason I'm asking is because the question that every writer should think about a lot is kind of the perspective I looked at with when thinking about reviews. I'm like, when you're writing a review, who are you writing it for? You like what kind of audience you have in mind? Like, do you have an audience of someone who has not watched the show? Because I have really strong thoughts about that. There, you have an audience of someone who has watched the show, or someone who's on the fence, someone who's kind of like, should I continue watching the show? Like, who you have as an audience in mind?
That's actually a very good point. So I think the audience can shift depending
On the anime?
Maybe. Like, it's very possible. So, for example, a lot of times when I write... So, I wrote a review of an anime. It's yet to be released, eventually. It's called Tomo-chan's Girl, right? I wrote that with kind of like okay, I want to do a short review of this. Like, 2, 3, 4 minutes long. And I want to basically just give people the quick rundown of why they should watch this show, right? And so that was for the general audience. It was very informational.
I guess I'm stuck there.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess finish your point and I'll make mine.
So, and then I wrote a review/analysis, and this is, I want to get into this for a second, is of Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
The movie.
The movie. What are the movies called? I can't remember what the movie's called. But it's, that one, it tilted into analysis, and that's where I think reviews can often tilt. So, for example, people will mix reviews and analysis at the same time.
I guess they can coexist.
Yeah, they can coexist. But I think if they go too far into analysis, that kind of leaves the review story.
So I guess, are you trying to say like analysis for people that already have watched the show?
Yeah, I think so.
And reviews
I think
for people that haven't watched the show?
Yeah, because so for example, if you were to give me analysis of let's say an anime I have never seen before, Cowboy Bebop, which is a very famous show. I know people are gonna come at me for not watching it, but I haven't watched it yet. Obviously, there's gonna be reviews and analyses of that anime, but the analysis is not gonna mean diddly squat to me because I haven't seen it. So, for example, when you say, like, oh, well, this character does this because of this motivation, I'm like, sure.
Right.
I have no opportunity to disagree because I can't be like, no, I disagree.
Because of X.
Yes. So, analysis requires an informed audience, while a review can be a completely uninformed audience.
Okay. Love it. So, I guess here's where I come in. Because maybe I'm extensionally generalizing too much from this, but I enjoy, and it would actually look up reviews for shows that I already have an interest in. So I've never seen a review that made me have an interest in something ever, because in a way it's like there's a filter that a review has to get through. First of all, which is the initial interest. So I was asking, like, who's the audience?
That's actually an interesting point. So I'm of two minds about this. So on the one hand, the reviews I am planning to do are basically, I give an explainer at the beginning of it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, audience, hi, hi, how's it going?
You had to get it cut off there, so I guess have more bad. There we go.
Igoring it.
Bad posture. Let's go.
Bad posture. Okay, the one time. So the reviews I'm meaning to do are basically like, look, I've gotten through the anime, and I liked it enough to review it. So this is more of a recommendation. Now, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you have me as an audience in mind for that? Because I enjoy reading your reviews. Like, also, the best way to read your reviews, weird enough recommendation to the audience, when his reviews come out, do it on the toilet. It's really good. It's really good. Reading his reviews on the toilet is a sublime experience, I assure you.
Thank you, actually. I thank you.
Yeah,
I genuinely appreciate that.
Actually, to bring his ego down here a bit, meaning you wouldn't have time to read a review in any part of your life except the time that you have on the toilet.
It depends on your bowel movements, I suppose.
Yeah, and mine is a lot. Okay, let's not go into potty humor. It's
it's the low-hanging fruit.
It is low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, ended with a splash.
Dropped out of it too.
Anyway, so yeah, I suppose with the analysis, I'm like, okay, I want to debate this with you, or not debate, but discuss this with you. I think it's very interesting. This is why I do this show with you, because I'm like, I want to discuss the thing I like. The Tomo-chan review was like, look, here is like brass tacks, what I liked about the show, and then my rating for each aspect of the show.
Okay.
But
I guess not to be stickler about this, but was that meant to generate interest in an audience that had not even seen the show? Like, do you assume that, say, an uninformed, just a random person who just stumbled on your stuff on the internet would read Tomo-chan's The Girl and go seek out Tomo-chan's The Girl and watch it?
I think
Watch it to the end, too.
I think what my plan was, like, I'm trying to be like it's kind of insurance, I suppose you can think about it. Like, look, for this little investment of just reading through my review or watching the review or whatever, right? You have my at least tentative guarantee that you'll at least marginally enjoy the show.
But fair enough. But who are you to them?
Some rando thing.
Exactly.
But that's ultimately what it is. So, for example, if some New York Times reviewer
but there's some social capital that the New York Times has with people.
Yeah, not with me, but
not with you, but I'm just saying, like,
or not even with anime. So,
with
for example,
the broader so I'm thinking more here, more generally speaking. So, if I read a New York Times review, yeah, the author might just be a random person, but I find out about the thing because of the New York Times social capital, and so I'm trying to figure out exactly, like, where does anime review fit in that whole review space?
I suppose it's that someone's taken the time to watch it
already.
Yes.
So which means then it becomes more which means all reviews that you write then should be analysis. Then.
Yes. So there are two guys I watch on YouTube for anime recommendations every season. It's Mother's Basement and Glass Reflection. Both recommend.
Pull that up here. Put it in the show notes.
If we were a professional outfit, we would.
We'll put it in the show notes. Oh,
maybe.
It's like too much work, dude. Just
too much work.
Go look it up.
Go look it up. But they go through every single show coming out, and they're like, trash, pass.
How do you know
it a
that?
chance?
How did you watch it?
Yes, they watch like the first episode or first couple of episodes of each one, and then they're like, okay, it's good so far. This is trash. I'll give it a shot tentatively, and then they just each go through it.
Okay.
And now, Mother's Basement and Glass Reflection oftentimes actually come to differing opinions on shows. What I'm using them...
What accounts for your difference? Tastes?
I think so.
Okay.
And also...
That's another thing. Because
yeah.
Because you have to... For a review to appeal to you, you have to find someone whose tastes kind of roughly is in your ether of tastes.
Yeah, and their tastes oftentimes differ from mine. So, for example, I believe it's Mother's Basement oftentimes actually likes idol anime, while Glass Reflection does not. And I don't care for idol anime at all. The only one
what
I
is
ever...
idol anime?
The idols dance on stage.
Oh, I thought you meant like idol, like not doing anything.
No, that's
slice of life.
Slice of life, yeah. Or if you're the time I got reincarnated as a slime, Slife.
Nice.
But and I think the ultimate point for watching both of them is, okay, I'm so overwhelmed with information, right? I think there were 32 anime that came out this season, I think.
Fact check.
Probably.
Just say fact check like someone's going to do
fact
it for
check.
us. If
just get really aggressive about it, too.
Someone should run out of 1s and 2s and just pull all this stuff, honestly.
Yes. But, so I'm like, I'm looking at this gigantic list, and I'm like, I'm scared. Because I'm like, I gotta work on Monday.
And you need someone to hold your hand and wade through that information.
Effectively, yes, because I'm like, I don't know where to even start. And there's and automatically as a person, I'm like, that looks like crap. But as you know, I oftentimes watch shows that I don't even think I'm gonna like going into it, and then I find I actually like this show. And so, I think a review also kind of helps find the uncut gem.
Okay.
So to speak.
All right. I agree. I agree on that front. I'm trying to. I guess maybe I'm being too analytical about it. I'm trying to understand the marginal utility of a random review. So because I would for sure read all your reviews because you're my anime dealer. Is the anime dealer?
Uppers, downers.
Yeah.
Idol.
Just he gives me the right balance of like, hey, watch this, interested in this, might be interested in this.
This will make you cry.
It's very funny.
Take this.
Yeah. But I would for sure read all your reviews. One, because there's already enough social capital with you. Proven by a proven track record that your reviews actually don't make sense to me. And I'll read them. I should look forward to reading your reviews after I've watched the show.
Interesting.
And which, I guess, as someone who consumes your information, I I hesitate. Well, I'm saying I don't buy the fact that you write reviews for an uninformed audience, because I don't think your best reviews are that way at all. Not like like stab you in the back or something, but I'm just.
Yeah, but like it's like I could be unconsciously writing this, so I don't like. Well, yeah, I don't think anyone does. That's a kind of ad hominem. I don't like lying when I'm writing. So like when I write a review, there's no, hey, I'm poor. No one's paying me to write a positive review.
He's not poor. He's super rich, actually.
If I was rich, I wouldn't look like this.
I assure you, he's rich.
The plastic surgery would be up the wazoo.
I assure you, he's super rich.
I'd be melting in the sun.
Dude, listen to me. I'm more true to my face.
This joke has gone on long enough.
Just listen again. Like I said earlier in the episode, believe what I say about this guy. Okay, he's so self-condescending or self-deprecating that you can't actually believe anything he says about himself. But
so I might very well be writing reviews that are based for you, and it's like I think honestly I just write like so. For example, I switched the format with Kaguya-sama because I was like,
yes.
Okay, I'm like I could just write a basic review, but spoiler alert, it talks about like social masks and how people present different selves to each other to help get their way or to protect themselves. And I'm like, that's fascinating. I don't want to rate the show like 9 out of 10 for characters or whatever, because I'm like, it's Kaguya-sama. Everyone knows that show. Right? And if you're watching this, you probably have, if you're watching the review of the movie of Kaguya-sama, you probably have watched the show. Because it's very unlikely that you just were like wandered into the theater. Huh, what's happening?
Right.
And so it's like that one, I think it required a different touch where I'm like, I just want to talk about this one aspect. And I think maybe someday I'll go back to Tomo-chan and talk about just the friendship aspect, because that like, I thought about that for a good long time, because I'm like, it was bizarrely rich, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so to recap, there are two types of reviews, so to speak. There's a review for an uninformed audience, and then there's the analysis for an informed audience. And you think reviews are meant to pretty much stimulate interest in a show?
I think so.
There.
I think there's another variety. It could be a kind of the call to prayer type thing, because it's like the reason why like National Review or New York Times or whatever side of the aisle you're on, they'll post reviews of stuff, and if you're reading the New York Times, you probably lean a little bit to the left, or if you're reading National Review, you probably lean to the right? It's very unlikely you're brave enough to go to either place. I'm certainly not. And so if you're reading a review there, you're kind of wanting to know, okay, what is acceptable for me to like?
Right. So it's actually my exact point. I think reviews, like, the best review is, in some sense, the aggregate review. Meaning, like, over time, you've built enough social capital with your audience that they trust that they might not know what you're looking at. It's like going onto a website just to find the links, right? So it's like the almost like it's like Twitter versus Twitter search, right? Twitter is important. You can follow one individual, another individual, but the more underrated part of Twitter is Twitter search, where you're exposed to so many other people to follow and so many other hashtags to follow or whatever. And so to me, the more important review is the aggregate review, which means like it's not just the one review of Tomo-chan, for example. It's like it's all the reviews you've ever done and people's perspective of your reviews and people's rating of your reviews. That is the more important review, because to me, which is why I would read all your reviews, because you already have that with me. And so, which then goes back to the, again, utility of the marginal review you produce, basically.
That's actually a fascinating point. So I unconsciously or not, I'm like, okay, consciously when I am like dealing my anime to you.
Yeah, dealer.
I'm like, okay, I like this anime, but I really don't think Musa would like this anime. Sorry, Sanj. It's a common last name.
Yeah.
Sanj.
Okay. But what does that mean? Like, what do you mean?
So, for example, I'm like, okay, you give me like what you want. You're like, okay, I would like some action-y right now.
By the way, if you want to get me, we're gonna actually give me recommendations in the comment section. Just know I like superpower stuff. I like funny stuff, and I like some romance here and there.
Yeah. So like sometimes I think I'll like hedge my bet. So I'll be like, okay, he's wanting some action-y, or the worst ones are the long series ones. That's
I love
that's
those.
a pain in the butt for me.
Why? Because you have to go through it to recommend it to me, kind of thing.
Because it's a limited stock. Basically, there's not a lot of shows
Not a lot.
that are the length that you want.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I think I sent you a site one time because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, my guy.
And also, I have my sister gave me an anime poster for my birthday, which is a scratch off poster, which is also a recommendation, but also kind of not at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. But so I'll do like, okay, this show's actiony. I think you'll like that. But then I'll also put on the bottom, hey, if you're interested, I also like these.
Okay.
So it's like I hedge my bet. I'm like, okay, I feed you the red meat, so to speak. I'm
Right.
like, this is what I think you're wanting,
Right.
but here's some broccoli on the side just in case you're extra hungry.
Right. Or if you hit yourself and want to take broccoli.
Yeah. So it's like, I try not to put in that situation, I'm not putting my standards on you, because I'm like, look,
And that's for your recommendation.
Yeah.
And okay, which is interesting because you see your reviews as a recommendation.
Yes.
And so, in some sense, it goes back to the question of who do you have in mind? Imagine I am your model for your ideal audience, which is like, in a way, kind of informed, kind of not. It was like peripherally interested in that. No, very interested in anime, but peripherally doesn't have enough time to actually go do the research. If that's the audience, then I mean, that's a really good.
I think so. For example, Tomo-chan was like, okay, here's an anime I'm desperately afraid is gonna get pushed under the rug. Although it was reasonably popular, so that's perhaps an unreasonable fear.
Why are you afraid of that? Like,
It's kind of like a book I dearly love might not get printed anymore if I don't generate enough interest, or it might be forgotten.
okay,
And
so part of me just says let the market work.
yeah,
But then again, like you are part of the market, so I guess
and my marketing is like, no, this was good.
Right.
Go back and watch this because this was like an excellent little series.
I think Tomo-chan is at a pretty good equilibrium right now. I don't see I don't see it as underrated or overrated in any sense. I
Yeah,
think
well, perhaps it's a kind of a like a gut reaction, if you will, right? It wasn't like it didn't depend. Wasn't like Googling like, oh no, the stock has gone down. It was like,
Bye.
yeah, it was. Oh, I don't know if you guys all watched this, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And the whole formula I set up for reviews was, like these are the shows I got through, right? And I'm not gonna really probably review any show that I hated, except with like my first girlfriend was a gal, which is a show that's terrible. I might review it someday because it was so terrible that I hate watched it. But honestly, I'll even watch some shows that I'm like, okay, this is kind of trashy. It's not really that good. I rarely finish them because like other stuff comes up, and I'm like, well, the first thing to go is the crappy one. So why would I finish it? So,
Okay, question for you then.
Yeah.
Where do you see? Two questions actually. Where do you see the current market of reviews? One, and two, where do you see your reviews going, and where does that fit in that market?
I think it'll grow because
Really?
yes, or
Would
at least
written reviews grow or more video reviews?
reviews. Like,
Okay, so which is also okay. I just why I want to talk about this because that to me is a fundamentally different thing.
Yes.
Because it's very fast paced because you have to get through all 32 or 34.
Yeah. It irritated me when I wrote the Tomo-chan review because I think I showed you the longer form one.
Yes.
Where it was much more detailed. I even discussed like the voice actresses and voice actors. I'm like, I really liked her. And I really liked her. And I really liked her because they did a very good job with the voices. Right. I'm talking really fast for no apparent reason.
I'm a bad influence on them.
So, but then I sent it to you and you're like, I think you need to like tone it down a little bit for the video format we're looking for. I'm like, okay. So I cut out basically everything that was non-essential, and I even cut out stuff that I thought was essential, but I'm like, it just doesn't fit,
Right.
Including character analysis to a certain extent. And that hurt in a sense because it was like,
See, that's the thing. Then
the video. So for example, from our gambit here was, to not really do YouTube Shorts, but to do short enough reviews where people would be like, oh, I'll quickly watch that. Like that was the gambit. And that makes me sad because it's like I genuinely actually wanted to talk about like, no, I really like this character. This was a very lovely character.
but you can also have a cake and eat it too because
Yes.
maybe you might not corner the market on all anime, all people who are interested in anime. You might corner the
I'm
market
looking for one consistent viewer.
right, but you might corner the market on people who are pretty much people like me who are who love anime, but we don't have time to put in the work to go find the new anime.
And that's why I think anime reviews will go up.
And that's why I think written anime reviews will actually go down. Will become more underrated because written anime reviews aren't they don't become reviews anymore. They become more analysis because if you're just doing one, the best review is the rapid fire. Here are 30 animes this season, and here's what I think you should watch. That to me is more of a review because it's for an uninformed audience who don't know anything about the new season and who only watches the video through its for the entirety for its entertainment value alone and just happen to get the value of watching this anime later as a result of it, as opposed to more written form reviews, which are becoming analysis. You can actually go deeper about here's a like character I like kind of thing. I guess what do you think about that as a model going forward? Because
I think it's like I think the internet will be divided over it. So for example, I'm a history nerd on the side as well.
That's understating it.
That's understating it.
That's understating it by a lot.
So I like to watch history documentaries that are like 3 or 4 hours long. And I just listen to them constantly. I read long tomes when I can, all that stuff, right? I'm interested in nuance. I'm interested in nitty gritty. I'm not interested in the 1 minute, here's a story, that much. Those are fun, history. But I'm I just want the analysis. Why did this happen? All that stuff. Right. And so I also love animation analysis as well. Of whether it be Disney movies or anime or whatever. I love the analysis.
Right.
And that's the side I lean towards. So there are guys like Saberspark and a few others on YouTube who do a good job of that. And they're not even anime guys. They're more like Disney or Pixar. And so that's my thing.
So you're essentially saying that the market would be bimodal. So basically average is over, where there's no
I think it'll be
so people either really like long stuff or really like short stuff, and there's no in between. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think it'll be more nuanced than that. I think there's going to be various what would you say, orthogonal groups of people where it's I don't really care about the analysis for.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's almost like for each anime there will be a different distribution of the audience. So basically, if for Tomo-chan is a girl, you like it enough that you would actually be able to sit through an analysis of it, but you don't say, what's your name? Don't mess with me, please. Piss on me and beat me, Miss Nagatoro.
Extreme. Not for kids. Please don't bully me, Nagatoro-san.
He's don't mess with me, Nagatoro.
Or whatever. I think I've seen both.
Yeah, it's both.
I think so. I've seen both. So maybe it's a different translation.
Anyway, and so people might not be that interested in that one, and you might just be interested maybe I just want to see what
maybe a little broader than that. Generally speaking, there's people who analysis fan and people who just want the breakdown of hey, which one should I watch?
I see.
And I think it's how deep you want to go. Every fandom has the deep lore you go into, and it gets creepy, right? If a particularly good example is 40K, those guys go hard in the paint.
What's 40K?
It's an online game, all that stuff, a board game, books, all that sort of stuff. Entire fandom, and I'm
is that what it's called? 40K?
Yes.
I guess look it up on the inside. I didn't know what it was either.
I barely know what it is either. Except for Sargon no Khan. What's I going with that? Okay, so there's gonna be the fandom of it, and those guys go hard. But there's gonna be the people who want to know if they want to go into that fandom or not. But they'll necessarily kind of bounce off the doors because there's gonna be gatekeeping. And I think we're gonna start seeing more and more gatekeeping because. And
so are the reviewers therefore gatekeepers, or I guess gateway drugs?
Kinda.
So reviewers are
yeah, they're
doormen.
Yeah,
or not really doormen, more street hecklers.
Yeah, effectively, because it's you have a limited amount of time in life, believe it or not, right?
I don't.
Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
You have 24 hours? What are you, a peasant? I have 48.
Indeed, I'm
per
poor.
Day. He's not 40.
I am poor.
Don't believe him.
He's lying. I'm poor. Donate. We don't even have a place to donate at. But it's like I need to quickly be able to ascertain what I'm going to focus on, right? And I think that's what reviews do to a certain extent, because it's like, look,
I guess, and I don't. Maybe I'm just being a stickler, but I don't think people have enough bandwidth for a written review before they watch the show.
I don't think they do either, necessarily.
Then in a way, like, it just...
So it's a particular identity. So that's why I toned down the review to like a 3 or 4 minute thing of like I suppose I'm even wrong on that end, because I could tone it down more to watch Tomo-chan.
Right. Because to me, honestly, I think reviews, like my ideal state of reviews is someone watches a show. The show ends. You're like, oh my goodness. I really enjoyed that show. I want this show to be. I want to think about the show a lot more. Then, I'm gonna go look up what's on the internet about the show, and then you go read an analysis of the show. You're like, yeah, it's a good perspective. I disagree there. That's an interesting thought. And to me, I'm like, okay, that is the ideal case of the show. Now, if your goal is to get people interested in an anime, I don't think review is the best way to go.
Interesting.
But broadly speaking, society-wise, I don't think like a review.
What would your recommendation be then?
Oh, yeah.
Time for you to talk, because I've been talking this whole time.
Flip it out on me. What my recommendation be to get people interested in anime? I think, honestly, there just has to be word of mouth.
Interesting.
Like I would be surprised at how much stuff people enjoy and people do.
But couldn't that also be like, so what a lot of reviewers do, for example, I told you yesterday there's an anime called Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible. I'm like, it's a better version of Nagatoro-san.
Yeah.
That necessarily compares the two.
Yes.
But also references the latter.
Right. And I fully okay. So
and that's also a form of review, technically.
It is a review, in my opinion, because I wouldn't have known about.
But it's
the new one. But here's my point about that. A word of mouth recommendation performs, to me, I think, two functions, because I didn't know that you have social capital with me. So I think okay, I'm back a bit. The idea case of a review, or telling an audience member who's uninformed about a specific anime, about a new anime to go watch, requires you do everything else but a review first. But you build up social capital, or we build up social capital. But okay, and people are like, okay, I maybe like you said about those guys whose tastes align kind of with yours, but also differ in some other places. Okay, that to me is important, because you would watch their videos no matter what they're showing, and you would learn about an anime because of what they showed you. And so to me, the ideal case where people, we just go back to word of mouth, because if you tell me go watch the anime, I would take it extremely seriously, because you've earned enough social capital on my end.
And plus, I never stop telling you to watch it until you do.
That's true.
That's awesome.
He nags. Oh my god.
Ding 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 ding.
But it's like, to me, I guess the ideal case is an institution that already has enough social capital, enough to say, oh, this is interesting, and you will take it seriously. As opposed to saying, oh yeah, here's a link to go, like, check out this anime review on the internet. Like, to me, I don't see enough utility in that, honestly.
Okay, so I'm supposed to demarcate even further. So what Mother's Basement and Glass Reflection oftentimes do with their
Glass Reflection.
That's what it's called. Yeah. What they'll do is they'll say an anime, and then they'll be like, this is what the anime is about, and then they'll give it their, like, I'm gonna watch it versus I'm not gonna watch it, or whatever, right? I think that's also a key part of it. What's the show about? So, for example, I look at what the simulcast list is for, like, Crunchyroll or whatever. I just learned
what a simulcast is yesterday.
Oh.
Asking ChatGPT, for the record, it basically means that it's being simultaneously cast on multiple different platforms.
Yes.
Right.
And in Japan as well. So it's airing in Japan, and an hour later airs on Crunchy.
Yeah.
So,
or
other platforms or whatever, right? So I look at all these things, and sometimes Crunchyroll's description is dog crap.
I see.
If it exists at all. So, so what I'm looking for with those reviews or recommendations or whatever, right, is, okay, what are the shows? Brief, like, 3-sentence description of what's the show about. And then, is it trash or not? Like, so there are, like, several layers here. So, sometimes have to, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that show was coming out now. Or 2, I have no clue what that show's about. They don't give a good description. Or 3, that looks like trash to me. Is it actually trash? Yay or nay?
Okay, well,
so there's several layers.
I see a point with that, but also just read the comment section. That's what the comment section is there for to me.
Yeah.
Just read it. Like, to me, like, what's the show about? You can pretty much glean it from just perusing the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, also, I think it's a better form of what's this show about, because it's bite size. It's like this person just gives, a snippet of episode of the show, and you kind of piece it together in your mind. I think comment section is actually underrated for that kind of stuff. I don't need a full on like blog post. So I guess to get that rough idea.
I suppose it's just how in depth do you want to go.
That's true.
I suppose it's the demarcation, I think. So me, I lean far more towards analysis.
Of course, but you also already watched it. Like, okay, what is a show that you've read an analysis for before you watched it, and you enjoyed both equally?
It also, wasn't a show.
But pause. Enjoy that jazz, by the way. Like, that's such good music. All right, back to you. Stop dancing, please. Stop. Don't embarrass yourself. You're live right now, dude.
Sad Jake noises.
Go cry in the corner. We're going. What show have you watched it?
Okay, so it wasn't a show. It was a video game.
When was this? How old are you? 12?
Like, I keep doing it. So, like, okay, I'm not a huge gamer, as you know, right?
So it tells you.
I'm not. Like, I play Genshin Impact. That is literally the only game I play.
Boring.
Also,
internet side profile of me, by the way.
Why do you come at me like this? It hurts. It hurts my soul.
I come at you. Oh my goodness. This is...
He does. It hurts.
Don't act all innocent. This guy is the worst. Anyway, we get out talk about reviews. Go on with your crying and your whining. Go on, finish up your thoughts.
Anyways, so there are games I'll never play. So, for example, I was interested in the lore of, not Elden Ring.
Scroll. Elder Scroll, after I read that.
That's Skyrim. I played that game. But yeah, Elder Scrolls is actually a pretty good example, because I'm not going to play the early games, right? Because they're, like, the graphics are garbage, because they were made, like, 20 years ago. So, I'm like, okay, I'm interested in the lore here, and the analysis, and the look at it, beyond me playing it, because I'm like, I don't want to, because the graphics are just so terrible that that's going to be arduous to do. But I'm interested in the lore. So, that's one area where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to put the investment in.
Okay. I see. Well, I guess to my mind, I'm glad I talked to you about it, because it's kind of straightened up in my mind now what it is that I expect of reviews, recommendations, and all that stuff. But I guess telling you going forward, I think your best work is done in analysis, honestly.
Okay, I'll keep doing it then, because I'm like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't dislike writing the Tomo-chan review, but it wasn't like satisfying. It wasn't edifying to the soul.
Also, I guess I'm also biased, because what we do on this show is literally analysis. Well,
yeah,
more like jumping off a topic and then talking about something otherworldly. Well, just uncorrelated slightly.
Yes, we could be talking about peanut butter in 5 seconds here. You just don't know.
It could be.
Creamy is supreme.
This is why I hate you, literally. For my chunky folks out there, I'm a body shaming. I'm just saying.
Did he just insult you?
No. Okay, no.
Don't take that crap.
Okay.
Don't. You're better. You're perfect the way you are. Don't listen to him. He's awful. He's evil because he eats crunched peanut butter. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. He just insulted you.
This is a public service.
Don't take that line down.
This is a public service.
picket his house or apartment because he's so sad he lives in an apartment.
This is a public service announcement for everyone who listens to Jake the Count.
Shame, 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 shame.
Please
Shame.
get yourself a nod at Jake.
Shame.
My point is, crunchy peanut butter is where it's at. Superior, good for. What do you need it for? Name it. Apples and peanut butter. Chef's kiss.
He can't even eat it because he's got braces.
Says the guy who also has braces. Spider-Man meme.
I
Also, this.
eat creamy. It's fine.
I like how we just went from a deep intellectual conversation to like,
Yes.
like how many seconds was that? 8 seconds.
Yes. And I literally, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm like, we could be talking about peanut butter, and I fulfilled the prophecy.
That's true.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm like, I just want to be able to do analysis. So I think I'll probably stick with that. So
Okay.
I thank you for thanks for the encouragement, I guess.
Of course.
Because I'm just like, look, I don't give a rat's patoot about like which studio made
Yes,
so much
and also maybe it's also my bias as well, because even when I wrote my blog, I did not like doing the like, oh, here's what this stuff is about. I'm like, just here's what I'm thinking about. Go
look it up,
look it
basically.
myself,
Yeah,
pretty much.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Now to quickly pivot to another segment of the show. What are you watching and why do you like it?
oh, I'm glad you asked.
What are you watching and why you just get like a big hype moment and you do nothing.
I just stare at you.
Like, what are you watching and why are you watching it? You
Okay,
like it or not?
okay, sheesh, calm down.
God, fight me.
Chill out, Jessica. I'm split between two platforms right now, High Dive and Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is better than High Dive because High Dive has a terrible service. But
This is for another day.
this is for another day.
We write a review about
Anyways, I'm trapped because between a rock and an anime because they have the anime and I want to watch the anime. So I go to their service. So starting with High Dive because I just mentioned them. A show that I highly recommend because it is one of the best ones of the year thus far is The Darkness in My Heart. It's a little, I don't want to say raunchy, cussing, all that stuff, but it's a rom-com, but is genuinely funny with very good characterization. Like, they did a very good job of it, actually. And they do a very good job of making it sympathetic, what would you call them? Not otaku, but what do they call it in Shinubio.
Oh yeah.
Basically like a darkly edgy teenager.
Yeah.
So they do a very good job of it. It's hysterical. I highly recommend it. Another one, Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible was delayed. It was a winter anime, but it got delayed to May, and it's starting to run again now. So highly recommend that one. What else is playing on there? Obviously, the fourth season of Dan Machi, I believe, just got completed on High Dive. Highly recommend that. What other shows are on there? Insomniacs After Dark is another one. It's very reminiscent of Call of the Night, which came out last summer. Another anime.
Beautiful anime, by the way.
Yes, it's also on High Dive. So watch
Stunning
those.
to see.
Watch those two. Those are good. What else?
Are you gonna mention the elephant in the room?
I'm going through High Dive.
Yeah. On High Dive, the elephant in the room.
Oh, Shinoko. That is a amazing show so far. Watch
yes,
that one.
of course. Listen.
Then say it, you ninny.
I am mad.
Oh, Eminence in Shadow. That was a winter anime. It is the Mr. I Am Atomic over here. Can't stand the cringe.
It's so cringy.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Think Overlord, but cringier. And the best part is it's meta in the sense that it knows it's cringy and it kind of leans into it without being terrible. So highly recommend that one too.
Yeah, I actually do recommend that one. It's better. I think it's better to watch with a friend, honestly, as opposed to watching it on your own.
It's one of those you want to roast. Again, I will talk about this in another segment or stream, but the humor of anime has gotten so much better in the sense that it's gotten smoother, more fluid, and it feels like two people are actually bantering oftentimes.
And also, it's a lot more. It now has a more global perspective.
Yes.
Even I was commenting about this yesterday. I'm like, even the English in anime has gotten much better.
Yes.
So.
I agree with that one. So I can't think of other ones on High Dive at the moment that I'm watching. Maybe I'll wake up at midnight screaming something about that, but
He does.
I do.
At 3 a.m. for 10 seconds.
Yes, oddly enough. So what am I watching? What am I watching on Crunchyroll? I'm watching a lot of crap, so I'll just kind of stick to
Crap. Well, that's a review for you.
Yeah, obviously. But I'll stick with basically what's current. So obviously, season 3 of Demon Slayer, it's a little bit slower thus far than season 2 was.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it because I'm a binger.
But I believe it's episode 4. You finally get into the action. So if you've saved up thus far, you're good. And the CGI is actually improved. I think, my personal opinion, improved remarkably this season, so that makes it much more bearable to watch, because one of the biggest problems with Demon Slayer thus far has been the CGI is Caravaggio. One of the ones. Hell's Paradise. Highly recommend that one. That is, they're calling it the newest member of Dark Triad, along with Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, right? It's a darker anime. It's definitely seinen. Very interesting philosophically. I'm gonna have to talk about that at some point in time. But it's also incredibly good action and very good characters. So I highly recommend that one.
Okay.
What else is on there? Crap. The new second season of Tonakawa Under the Moon is good so far. Not great. Nowhere near as good as the first season was, but I think it's still very good. Crap, I kind of want to list up.
I mean, that's more than enough.
Yeah, so there's a ton more. Check it out. The other animes I've been wanting to watch are kind of in Netflix jail, and don't have a Netflix account right now. I'll probably at some point get a free month and just binge everything I want to watch. But yeah, so far I'm just restricted to those 2 platforms, which is more than enough. Trust me.
It's a lot.
More than enough.
Today was crying about.
Oh, okay. I forgot the Mashal in the room. Mashal. Think Hogwarts meets One Punch Man. Incredible. Incredible. It is like, I can't begin to describe you how bizarre the show is and how hysterical it is. It is so fun.
It is good. I've watched 5 episodes.
Yeah, it is so good. Pissed me off because episode 6.5 was a recap episode. You do not need a recap episode 6 episodes in. They were delaying, and you know it. Sorry. Right. I love you, animators. Don't stop. Don't stop.
He's going crazy. Well, when he's finally done with his rants, put him in a straitjacket. I'm watching. I probably shouldn't bring this up right now, but I'm watching Bungo Stray Dogs, and I'm just trying to form my thoughts on it. So far, I think season 2 is much better. And season 2 is. I just started season 3, so season 2 is really good. Season 1,
I haven't seen it, so it's good to hear a recommendation on your.
Yeah, season 1 is not. Season 1 is okay, but it's not special. But season 2 is a really good show. It's talking about friendship. It's talking about in a weird way, how the love of a city can transcend in a way rivalries. It's pretty good. I'm also watching Eminence in Shadow, like you mentioned earlier. I'm watching it with him because he can visit me for the weekend, as you can tell. And I find it utterly cringy in the best way possible. It's so funny. Yeah, I'm not a.
You watched Mashal a little bit. You like that?
Yeah, but the thing is, know this. I'm not a widespread. I'm not a generalist when it comes to watching anime. I'm more of a specialist. Also one anime that I would recommend you do not watch. I guess maybe just watch the first episode and maybe second episode if you want to have a satisfying feeling in your stomach. But is I went to another world. I got some powers, came back hotter, and now I'm unraveled in my real world. Notes,
that's not the actual title. Sanj likes to make up titles, and it gets hysterical.
No, I do
really.
Not.
And it gets absurd.
Okay, honestly speaking though, it's I gained powers in another world and became unraveled in the real world is what it's called.
I believe so. Yeah, good job for remembering that.
Thank you. But
it's basically. I saw the title of it, and I kind of applauded him for taking the risk, because I looked at that and I was like, that is everything everyone hates about isekai.
Why is it?
Right there. It's the power fantasy, right? It's like, oh, some loser gets reincarnated through no reason of his own.
He's not really reincarnated. Which I do think. Okay,
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, he goes to another world. There's nothing special. There's nothing special about him. He's actually kind of he sucks, and people are right to hate him a little bit. Usually, right? Goes there, gets incredible powers without doing anything for himself, and then just owns literally everyone else, and it's just like, yeah. So it's like, compare that to the good ones. So Mushoku Tensei.
Handing my side in another world.
Yep.
Really good.
Another one that's really good. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. And Overlord, where it's like, yes, they're overpowered in the next world, but except for Saito-san, but they're commendable in other ways.
Yeah.
So Ramiro, for instance, in Slife is very managerial and genial and fun. Overlord is his own bag of worms there. And so, like, they all have stuff that adds on to it.
Right. So, the reason I do not like... Well, the reason I don't like the show, honestly... Like, the first episode is good in that it actually does give you a stake. Right? But by the end of the first episode, it's over. Like, it doesn't get any... It doesn't beat the first episode. Like, it just becomes... He goes... And also, okay... Let me go here. What I like about this show... Or what the potential about the show is, or could be, is that it does kind of, in a niche, show how the duality of two worlds. And I'm like, that's such a good plot line, I guess, plot point that you could explore really well. Almost like, not to recommend it to them, but almost, see how his psyche, stays in between both worlds, and how, how the both worlds interact, because he's the... Anyway, that's there. But then it just quickly becomes a harem, and it's
it's take a shot if you want to take the shot and you like it.
I recommend
cool, awesome.
Weird recommendation here. I recommend the first 2 episodes and you're done. Like, other than that, it's not good.
Hey, it's a recommendation.
Yeah, we've done it. It's 52 minutes. Anything you want to talk about?
We can go into something a little deeper for a couple more minutes if you want, or whatever.
What do I talk about?
Let's think. No more peanut butter discussions, because we'll resort to violence here soon.
Yeah.
And no one wants to see me kick your butt.
I guess we're talking about today. Let's just move for a second. Hardware.
Oh, wind chimes. He likes those.
It's my hardware for we're talking about today the perils in a way of having too many things that you're interested in, but not being able to have, not having the proper time allocation to watch it. Because today we went to a bookstore, which we had to literally pause to leave to go back tomorrow when we're much fresher, slept and all that stuff. Have time to go in and get the books. But we're talking about how you were mostly lamenting this, and I agreed.
Yeah.
How you just have so many animes you want to watch, but you don't have the time to watch it. I guess so. Yep. I mean, first of all, why is that even a problem for you? Why does it? Because it's not a problem at all. Oh my god, you have to go watch it.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to read all these books or whatever. It's like you lived yesterday without reading all the books, so I'm sure you'll be fine today, right? And it's like, I'm sorry.
This guy plays foot. I think this guy has a foot fetish. Exposed. Count Sange equal. No.
He said it. He said it.
Fun counts equals foot fetish. We're gone.
It's irrational, of course, right? So we're going to go off the premise immediately that it's irrational that I feel this way, because it's like, okay, it's entertainment, fundamentally speaking, right? There's no stakes other than perhaps a lack of enjoyment that are. Which also, but even then, that's kind of
it's on demand, so you're not stuck with that. If you're not enjoying, just toss it.
Yeah, and so it's like, when I'm like, I see all these shows, for example, this season, 32 shows or whatever, however many there were, come out. I'm like, oh man, what do I watch? And it's kind of this weird sense of being overwhelmed by things I enjoy. And so it's kind of like going down the candy aisle in a sense, I think. And going, oh, well, we had the situation yesterday, actually. We went through the candy aisle. Not a good idea, by the way.
Target.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Spend $14 in candy.
On candy, because we're children. And it's like, and
And you ended up buying the same thing that you normally buy.
yeah, and so it's like, and this goes back to the conversation we had once upon a time on rewatchability, but we won't get into that. It's that, it's like, okay, it's a fear of missing out, I think, too. Because it's like you're trying...
It's being a bit too dramatic, honestly.
A little bit.
Missing out on what? What are you missing out on?
Something I'll enjoy. And I know it's irrational. I know it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So, sorry for being too dismissive. That was dismissive.
He's always dismissive.
What I mean is this. So, you don't watch all the shows in this season.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and watch old shows.
Yeah.
You enjoy those. Is any part of you still feeling like, almost like greedily thinking I could be enjoying another show more?
No, not really. But it's like kind of the, like a...
No, what are you missing out on? If you're enjoying it in the moment, what are you missing out on?
Kind of like, I suppose it's like I'm missing out on something that could be just as enjoyable or also add value. And again...
Or better?
Yeah, irrational, right?
It's very irrational because I'm like, you don't...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of tied in our previous conversation about reviews and recommendations because you have to put in the work to find those shows. But if you show that in front of you, then it's basically no marginal cost because you've already paid the marginal cost and it's sunk at that point.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with books because I'm just like, okay, it's all in the pile and you feel bad because it's like, okay, that's sat on the shelf.
Right.
Like I have a watch list that's miles deep at this point in time. Mm-hmm. And I have a book list that I'm supposed to be reading that's 10 miles long anyways. Mm-hmm. Because it's like it's almost paralyzing in a sense, right? I kind of wish Crunchyroll had the random button again. Because, like, sometimes you're sitting there trying to decide what to watch. And so the seasonal trap is actually very tempting. Okay. Because, like, what do I watch today? Oh, the episode that just came out. That's easy. That's the easy choice, right?
So maybe I'm actually not feeling it as much as you are. Because I just offload all the stress to you. Well, not stress, but I offload all
He's the cause of this.
All the decision making. Because I never think about, oh my god, what am I going to watch? I'm like, oh, what am I going to watch? Just text my dealer. I'm like, yo, what should I watch right now? And you're like, okay, watch this, watch that.
And he does not understand that supply is a problem.
I mean, it's your business. Like, figure it out, dude.
How do we get paid?
Figure it out.
But yeah, it's like irrational thing. And it's like, it's ultimately... the good thing that's caused, I suppose, if there's a good thing about it, is it's caused me to be like more picky about my anime in a sense.
Yes, you have. I will say not tastes, but your taste has gotten much better over time. But then again, might be like the standard is just higher.
Yeah, I'm just like, I won't. There have been trash anime I've watched, but like if you look at like the watch history, I'll get like at most 5 or 6 episodes in, and then I just kind of like,
I'm done.
Meh, we're done.
So,
because it's like I'm not really enjoying this as much. I know I'm going to enjoy that show right there far more. Mm-hmm. So why am I wasting my time with this? Then a good example is an anime called A Galaxy Next Door that just came out this season. I watched 2 episodes of that, and I'm just like, when I start checking how much time's left on it, and that's not out of fear, as with Demon Slayer, you know I have a problem with the show.
Yeah.
Right?
So, okay, not to be too unfair to you, because I feel the same thing for sure with books. Mm-hmm. But I told you about this today. I'm like, the way I solve that problem is if I find a book that I enjoy, I just read more about that author, to reference again that I'm more specialist than a generalist, more about the author, because I know that at least something about this author is of value to me. Mm-hmm. As opposed to going to find another author, which is why I will almost always be biased towards older books whenever I walk into a bookstore. Because I'm like, okay, I know there's authors, there's something of value in them, therefore I want to invest my time into reading those, as opposed to finding out new ones, because I know for sure that because I've never exhausted the list of well-known authors who have been recommended or are also in the ether and recommended a lot, I would not like the odds of me finding some random person and then that person being my new earthquake person is.
I think that's where we differ a little bit. So, okay. obviously I also bias towards authors I know anyways, but I'm more prone to buy. So for example, I was reading a history of South Korea, like just a little bit ago.
You buy by topics, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know anything about that topic. I'm gonna read about that topic. I think that's a little bit about way I do with anime. It's like, that looks interesting, I'm going to try it.
Interesting. I don't know.
And you want like a more assured, like, this is going to be a worthy investment of my time,
right?
Which is not bad.
Yeah, I go hard in. I go all in.
Yeah. He watched like Tomo-chan in like
2 days.
2 days. I was like, well, I just recommended that to you, and it's like, that's not bad, right? It's just the way he is.
Not to touch me, weirdo.
But me, I'm like, okay, I'm a generalist. I gotta be like, okay, let's watch a little bit of everything. So I watch a ton of rom-com. I watch shonen. I watch seinen. I watch shoujo. I watch a lot of stuff. Just about the only stuff I don't watch is mecha and idol shows.
Same.
And also BL,
Yeah.
because that disturbs me.
Also, you don't watch that much harem. I think we
No,
watch 2
it
harems.
has to be like, okay, there's got to be, this is a whole different topic, but in brief, there has to be a reason why so many women aren't interested in him.
Yes.
Beyond anime logic.
Yeah.
Or in the worst case scenario, hentai logic.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we've for sure gone over an hour now, and
Yes.
and it's almost 10. I gotta.
Yes, he was very combative about my inability to just cope.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to be too dismissive about it, but I guess
It's a dismissible idea. It's like, just shut up and watch anime.
literally.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't have to go to that problem because I could just text him like, "Yo, what's up? What you doing? Time some anime right now. Meet me at the corner of 95th and Penn or whatever, in the alleyway, and give me some anime recommendations." All right. Anything else you want to add? You can just...
This isn't happening for a while, so I hope you guys appreciated it.
Yeah, I really hope this is actually, because I enjoyed this one. It's much better in person, honestly.
Yes.
We'll figure out our audio issues for other streams. I really hope that does happen this week, because
I hope so, because it's annoying.
once we figure it out, it shouldn't be that hard.
I hope so, because it's like the problem is, like, there's gotta be an easy way to do it, but we just haven't figured out that easy way to do it.
Yeah, and that makes it sound as high quality as we want it to be to sound.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to give you crap stuff.
Because you already have to deal with, like, the crappy opinions over here. Why should you deal with crappy
That's
audio?
true.
You deserve better.
That's one thing I actually agree with you on, for the first time ever. All right. Well, we are ending the stream. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Blaze it.
Not on YouTube.